this is Jill from Paper Daisy Crafting. Thank you for joining me today. I'm an independent demo here, Stampin' Up demo here in the UK. I hope you've been enjoying my videos, my tutorials showing you how to make some cards and other projects. All the products that I use are Stampin' Up products and are available in my shop, which will be linked below, so you can go online and you can order direct, or if you're having problems or you'd prefer to, you can get in touch with me and I can place your order for you. I'm happy to do that. Any questions or anything you're not sure about, please drop me a line, drop me an email, and I'll be happy to help. I'm always happy to answer questions. Right, today this is our project. This is a card that I made for a blog hop at the weekend, and the challenge of the blog hop, it was a tic-tac-toe with 9 colours, and we had to choose a line of colours to use, and the line that I chose was petal pink, basic grey and gold. And so you can see how I've incorporated those colours into my card. I got the chance to use this beautiful flower here, which is made from dies in the Magnolia Memory set. Lovely set of die. Why haven't I used it before? Beautiful, beautiful flower. Really love it. But I haven't used it before. No idea why. Anyway, today I'm going to make the same card to show you how I did it. You can see it's a bit of a fancy fold, not very fancy fold. So basically, it's a normal card blank, 10.5 by 15. But what I did was folded back the front panel and then added another panel onto the front. So not that fancy fold, but you know, a little bit different really. So I'm going to show you how I made it, and as always I'm going to change up the colours. I used Peony Garden for my papers on this. They're petal pink papers. Today I'm going to use a paper that is from the Hydrangea Hill. Is that Hydrangea Hill or Hydrangea Heaven? One of the two, the Hydrangea set. It's got this beautiful paper on the back, which I love. I love this watercolour washed striped effect. But I also like this, and I wanted to do something a bit pink. I've decided I've avoided doing pink for far too long, so I'm just trying to incorporate a bit more pink into my cards. And I love this beautiful piece of pattern paper. So I'm going to use this today. Like I said, it's from the Hydrangea Hill, Heaven, one of those. It's an alliterative title, and I'm going to use it with Blushing Bride. Now the paper doesn't actually have Blushing Bride with it, but I thought it didn't look too far askance, and I wanted there to be less of a contrast. I wanted it to be a bit more subtle than the one that I did with the petal pink and grey. So I'm going to give that a try today and see how that goes. So first of all, and I have done a bit of preparation here, which I didn't mean to do. I just got carried away when I was getting ready for the video. So I started out, like I said, with a normal piece of half an A4 sheet, so 15 by 21, and score it at 10. And that's your normal card blank. So if I turn it over that way, that just looks like a normal blank that we would normally use. You can see I made a slight error here on mine, but I'm going to cover that up with the SP, so that's not going to matter. And then what I did was put it back in my trimmer and measured from this point here. So let me show you how I did it. Oh, got a bit of Blushing Bride still stuck in there. So if you line up your fold with the cutting line and then measure. How did I do it? Maybe I did it the other way. I'm just trying to think how I did do it. Oh, I think I measured 5 1/4. I think I just measured 5 1/4 because this is 10.5, so I measured 5 1/4 to there and then scored down there, and that gives you this panel, which is exactly the same size, because this is 10.5, so your measurement is 5 1/4 centimeters, and then that gives you that panel. So the first thing to do is to cut some pieces of designer series paper, so whichever you're using, patterned paper, and you want one to go on the back panel there and one to go on the front here. So I'm using a white as my card blank this time. On this one I used it as grey. I think it looks a bit heavy. I had to use grey because that was the colour challenge. I think it looks a bit heavy, so I'm using white today. So first of all I'm going to stick my piece of designer series paper here, and I have got the measurements for you, I think. This is 10 centimetres by 14 centimetres. Is that right? 14 and a half, I think that should be. 10 by 14 and a half. So 10 across, 14 and a half down. Like I said, I got a bit carried away preparing for this video. I normally have some bits ready. I didn't really mean to cut all the cardstock and the paper ready and do all the scoring and everything. I just wasn't really thinking. There we go. And then we need another panel. It's very pretty, this paper, to go on this front panel here. And this panel measures 4.7 centimetres by 14 and a half. So because this is 5 and a quarter, it's 5.2 and a half. So you've kind of got to do quite a tricky measurement there. But if you do it 4.7, that should be just about right. And that will give you a border that's equidistant all the way around. Like so. And that just glues there. So that's basically our card blank. Like that. I'm just going to use my bone folder just to get those creases nice and crisp. Like that. And then we want 2 panels. So I've got 2 panels exactly the same. 2 panels of Blushing Bride, which are 8.5 centimetres square, and 2 squares of Whisper White, which are 8 centimetres square, and they layer on top of each other like that. But before we do anything else, we need to do some embossing, because I used heat embossing to emboss my message there. I used Thinking of You on that one. Today I'm going to do Thanks. So I've got my Versamark. I just need my embossing buddy. If I can find it. Which drawer is it in? There we are. I'm just going to make sure I don't get any stray specks when I'm doing this. So using my Versamark and the Thanks. This is from the same set, so I haven't got the other box out at the moment, but in the other set, so there's another box, and I can't show you. I can't lean over there at the minute. It's got 2. This is a double stamp set, and it's got other greetings in, so it's 1 of 2. But I'm using the Thanks today. I'm going to nudge my camera if I try and lean over, so I won't try and do that. Right, stamp there, hoping that it's straight. Didn't test it beforehand, so there's a chance it could be a bit wonky. I think it looks all right. There we go. There, and I've got no spare specs there because I use my embossing. Oh, my embossing buddy. Got some spare specs there though. Just let me find. Oh, sorry, I've just tipped my embossing powder over a little bit. I don't want all those. Don't like that gritty thing with the embossing powder on my desk. Right, okay, so we're just going to heat this. I'm going to... Oh, it's not turned on. Helps if it's turned on. I'm just going to heat my gun up a little bit. And then bring it to my paper and watch for when the magic happens. There it goes. You see that changing? So from that dull grey powder into this lovely shiny silver image. Absolutely perfect. Just going to put that to one side for a minute because it's very hot at the moment. I want it to cool down before I glue it because it'll come back from warping. It's a little bit warped at the minute because of the heat. Right, so we're going to put a little bit of Tombow on here. And mount that. And while I'm waiting for this, that's still quite warm, I'm going to make the flower. So if I show you the flower, it's built up of the dies from the Magnolia Memory. So it's built up with dies for these 3 dies here. So this is the biggest one at the back, and then that one, and then that one. I think I did 2 of the big ones at the back, and then I used the leaves and the 2 centres as well to make my flower. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in one of our blending brushes and some Rococo Rose, and I'm just going to do a vague little bit of blending around the edges of these. Very, very subtle. I'm going to try not to be too heavy-handed. So a little bit of ink, take it off, and then just, you can probably hardly see that on the camera, but it is just changing it just slightly. And this will help it tie in better with the designer series paper as well. Oh, that's a bit dark, I didn't take that off enough. And then the other one. So you want a very subtle effect on this. It's always easier to put more ink on than it is to take it off. I did do this on the one previously, but you probably can't see, but these edges are just a little bit darker, and it does give it a little bit of, just makes it look a little bit better. So that's that, and now I'm going to very carefully come into the centres with the tip of this brush. Just do a little bit in the centre of this one. The other one will be hidden, so that one doesn't matter so much. I might just do a little bit at the edges of this one. There, and that's enough. And what we're going to do is we're going to take a bone folder, and we're going to try and curl these petals up to give the flower a bit of dimension, like so. And then this one. Like so. And then this one first. Going to layer in there, and then this one with the colouring in the middle, like so, and that will layer in there. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take some Tombow, put it on the back of one of these flowers, and I'm going to stagger them so that they go alternately, petal space, petal space. And then I'm going to do this one the same. Like so. Oh, sorry, that's my computer telling me I've got an email. Won't be anything exciting, I'm sure. And there, that's your finished flower, apart from the centres. And what I'm going to do with the centres is just take a little bit of foam and an embossing tool with a big end, and just very slightly, just so that these bend up a little bit. Now I know they will get squashed down when you put it through the post, so might not be too much point doing that, but it does just give it a little bit more dimension, and that will sit now quite happily in the middle there. So you notice I'm using silver instead of gold. Silver I used last time, using silver foil this time. Just thought it went nicer with the pink, really, although gold would go just as well, I guess. Right, on this one I'm just going to use a tiny bit of tear and tape, just because I never think that the just going to cut it so that I can get a really tiny bit. I never really think that the Tombow glue will hold when I'm gluing onto foil, because it's non-porous, and the Tombow really needs a porous surface to have a good hold. So just take the back off there. So, but you can try it with Tombow, and try and stagger this, although it doesn't work because they're not exactly alternating there. And that's going to mount onto our panel, which is now ready to be stuck onto its background. So I'll take my Tombow again. So this is not a difficult card to make. I don't know what's wrong with this Tombow, it keeps getting clogged up. There we go. And then we'll mount this on our card and we'll position the flower in a minute. So this is going to go here with our flower on it. Matches, the colour matches brilliantly now. I'm quite pleased with that. So we want not quite halfway across the glue, because we don't want the glue to be on the other side where it's not going to have anything to stick onto. I'm going to have to get a new glue out in a minute. This is really playing up. It's not. It's quite full still, so it's not. Just must have something stuck in the nozzle, I think. Right. Okay. So I'm going to put that there. So I want this distance and this distance to be the same. So I don't know what I've got there. Let's get rid of that. Just some marks there. Right. Is that straight? There we go. And then this is going to mount on here, like so. Lovely. Oh, there we go. Don't know why it's being so temperamental today. It is a very old one, I have to say. I'm trying to use up. I've got so many Tombows open that I'm trying to use up them all the ones that are open. So maybe this is a very old one and has been open too long. Shouldn't be so stingy, should I? Not stingy, thrifty. A thrifty card crafter. Want to get my money's worth. I hate spending money on things like Tombow and dimensionals. I mean, I love them, but if I've got money to spend, I want to spend it on stamp sets and inks and paper and dies and punches. I want to spend it on the exciting stuff, not the dull stuff. There we go. A little bit on there. So I've cut my leaves. These are the smallest leaves in the die set that I use. There's some bigger ones as well, but I used all of the smaller ones today. And then another one that's just going to tuck in the back there. So whenever I'm doing things like this, I always try and work in sets of 3. I like the triangle from design purposes and pleasing to the eye. You need to try and have a triangle, but you can go with odd numbers. Even numbers don't work so well, so we always try and do odd numbers, 3, 5, 7, something like that. Right, that's nearly done now. So that's the front of my card, and then we need this panel to go on here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some glue on the back of it. I want it to match up exactly with the... What is wrong with you? I might turn it over and try and use the other end. Maybe that would be a bit less temperamental. See if that works any better. Oh, that's not coming out at all. Right, I'm going to give up on that one. Find a new glue. Oh, let's try another one. If this one doesn't work, I might give up altogether. This one's been sitting on its side. And it's quite empty, apparently. That one's not going to work either. I really need to throw these out. I really just need to bite the bullet and throw them out. Right. I'm hoping this one will work. Oh, there we go. That's better. That's a lot better. Right. I'm going to keep that one. I'm going to mark this one to be the one to use from now on. Right. Okay. So, like I said, I'm going to glue it and then I'm going to position it behind the one at the front. So I've got that positioned, and then turn it round so that you're holding it in place, and then close. Oh, that's not right. Make sure you have got it in place, and then fold it over so that it is going to stick exactly to be in line with your front panel, like so. Doesn't look quite straight to me. I might just try and straighten it up a tad. There we go. There. All done. So there is There's the one that I made earlier, and here's the one that I made today. I would work with my bone fold a little bit more to get these to lay a bit flatter, I think. Although if you put them in the post, they'll get squashed anyway. There we go. Right, like the colours of this one. That's one of the nicest pink cards I've made for a long while, I think. I love this paper, and I love how this tones with it. So even though the Blushing Bride isn't one of the colours that's listed in this paper, I don't think that's too far off. Right, okay, so great. Thanks for watching today. Hope you liked my project. As I said, all the things that I've used are available from my shop, which is linked below. There's also a link to my blog, and on my blog you can find my monthly shopping code. So if you use that, you'll get a free product gift from me next month. You'll always get, if you shop with me, you always get a thank you package. You get a handmade card, and you get a handmade, some sort of handmade package gift, bar of chocolate that I've decorated, or a notebook, or something like that. But also if you use my code, you'll get some sort of free product gift. So sometimes it's pattern papers, sometimes it's embellishments, just depends. Depends a little bit on how good the sales are that month, on how many Stampin' rewards we accumulate. Anyway, that's it from me today. I hope you have a fabulous day. Hope you like my project, and I will be back with you very, very soon. Please subscribe if you get the chance. I'm trying to get to 5,000 subscribers. I'm at about 4,950 at the minute, so I need another 50 subscribers to get me up to 5,000. So if you've enjoyed today, please just press the subscribe button. That would really please me. Thanks very much. Bye for now. Bye.